All right, shalom, shalom, Akim, shalom. This is your brother Zakaria Allah, branch down here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. All right, real quick, man. I wanted to do another lesson before I close it for the night, and this was in my feed, man. And I had to do a lesson on this, man, because it seems that this devil is about to. He's putting particular pieces in place. You know what I'm saying? And we're just gonna go through this, man, because when you got your boy Trump, you know what I'm saying, and every week he's bringing out an executive order. All right, an executive order. Um, there's ain't no good coming from this, man. It's only gonna to lead in a particular direction. All right, but this one in particular is very peculiar because it's dealing with pharmaceuticals. All right. And this isn't medical information or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to listen to this video a little bit. All right. Let's go ahead. Let's check it out.
Thank you, Secretary Kennedy. This is the most powerful executive order on pharmacy pricing and healthcare ever in the history of our nation.
We've just been listening to President Trump talking about trade talks with China and a new executive order on drug prices. The president calls the talks in Geneva very friendly and says he could speak with Chinese President Xi Jinping at the end of the week.
President Trump just announcing on Truth Social that prescription drug and pharmaceutical prices will be reduced by 30 to 80% almost immediately. This appears to be the major announcement that the president has been teasing for days. He plans to sign an executive order tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Trump also announced a new executive order aimed at lowering drug prices, calling it one of the most consequential orders in history. He says the order forces drug companies to charge the U.S. what they charge other developed countries, adding that the U.S. will no longer subsidize health care of foreign countries.
Prescription drug prices in the U.S. are much higher than in other countries, sometimes as much as 10 times higher. But the pharmaceutical industry has complained that efforts to negotiate prices for federal drug purchases are price controls, since the federal government is such a dominant buyer in the drug market. In his social media post, the president said campaign contributions from the industry won't sway him or the Republican Party on this issue, and said he expects his plan to save trillions of dollars for taxpayers.
They will rise throughout the world in order to equalize and for the first time in many years bring fairness to America. I'll be instituting a most favored nations policy whereby the United States will pay the same price as the nation that pays the lowest price anywhere in the world. So it's a lengthy post here from Donald Trump. So we're just catching the end of that there. So, I mean, the crux of it is, Laura, that they think they're being ripped off. How does that affect us?
Well, it means that it affects our pharmaceutical benefit scheme.
It's one of the big exporters for us.
Yeah, it affects the price of medicine here in Australia potentially as well. So this is one thing that is kind of one of those, sacred areas, particularly for a Labor government. They want to do everything, to protect the cost of medicines. We've just had basically a Medicare election as well. I mean, to keep this all in context, really steel and aluminium tariffs are the least of Australia's worries. A 10% general tariff on all our goods going to the United States, also not a big problem. But this could be an absolute game changer. So Kevin Rudd, our trade minister, the Prime Minister, certainly got its work cut out for us.
Yeah.
Can't we?
It's an interesting move for the White House.
It is, and that is kind of about trade. At the same time, he's also been talking about expanding the ability to make drugs here, making that easier for companies to be able to do that, and companies to build, and drug companies to build, and factories to build, and to bring some of that home as well. And then also, not to forget, we're expecting some sort of announcement related to China. I don't know if that all gets woven into this or not, Lydia, but your thoughts?
I was thinking the same thing, because a lot of our active ingredients for our pharmaceutical drugs come from places like China and from India as well. So I was wondering, I had the same thought, I wonder if some of this China deal is also addressing where our pharmaceutical ingredients are coming from and having to do something to do with, reshoring or giving us better access or more transparent access to those critically needed ingredients. I also have another thought too, is I wonder if he's addressing the pharmacy benefit managers. We've heard a lot about them in the news, but those are kind of like the intermediary players that broker access to drugs between hospitals and pharmacies from the drug makers. There have been a lot of questions about their role and how pricing is set for access for Americans. Maybe he's addressing that. That's been a big issue as well. So we'll have to wait and see till tomorrow.
Listen, I think the most important thing in the drug world is the generic drugs, getting generic versions of drugs out to the market as quickly as possible. I don't understand the crazy drug pricing. It doesn't make any sense to me. Sometimes I'm not taking any drugs right now. I have no prescriptions, but anytime that I've gone over prescriptions with my doctor, they say, well, there's this thing. And then you look at the cost and you say, that's a crazy price of a drug. And then there's some other drug that you might need. And it's like, 11 cents. And I don't understand how it's done. It's all very Byzantine. I think most people get confused by this kind of thing. Hopefully, the good news from Trump is just that, good news.
All right, well, we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's going to be a busy Monday in Trump world.
Is this something?
As you know what? I want to give one precept before I continue on with this. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All right. Clearly something's going on with this guy, you know what I'm saying? Because there's always an angle. All right, but we're going to go about another minute into this, you know what I'm saying, before I stop it. So let's listen a little more.
Typically, that would go through an executive order.
No, I mean,
All right, well, we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's going to be a busy Monday in Trump world.
Is this something typically that would go through an executive order?
no, I mean, in order to make any fundamental change, you've got to go through Congress and change the law, right? So this is an executive order, and we'll see what the language is at this 9 o'clock event today at the White House and see exactly how he's planning to execute this.
But I imagine there won't be pushback because in many ways, I imagine most Democrats like this plan, and I imagine some Republicans do too.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're looking for savings, right, and you want to figure out how to balance the budget, this is easier than raising taxes. And that's one of the other things that Republicans have been looking at very hard up on Capitol Hill as they try to make the numbers work. So,
right. But the point being here is that it's very interesting because there's no oversight of the Congress. All right. And that's what should really be, setting off alarms in people's heads, you know what I'm saying? But Salakia, you know what I'm saying? I want to get this started by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who I've grown in this truth under. All right. And peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, man. You know what I'm saying? The thing that's getting me is what's inside this executive order, you know what I'm saying, that's not being spoken of. That's the point. What's inside this executive order that nobody's talking about? All right? Because he's not going through Congress. He's not going through the House of Representatives or the Senate. You see what I'm saying? So something is inside whatever this order is, whatever this executive order is that he's signing in. It can't be spelling anything good, man. You know what I'm saying? On the surface, it's gonna make people, excited and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But deep inside that executive order could be something completely different. You know what I'm saying? But the only thing that people are looking at is, oh, we're gonna save 60 to 80%. You know what I'm saying? On our pharmaceuticals. You know what I'm saying? On the drugs that we use, man. All right. Hey. And if you saw in the comments, you know what I'm saying? Somebody called it pharmakia. You know what I'm saying? Pharmakia, man. Had to like that one. Check this out. Peace before chaos. Peace before chaos. I had to thumbs that one up, man, because this is exactly what the scriptures is telling us, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. It reads, "But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord Yahweh so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." Right? Peace before chaos. What did we keep saying, you know what I'm saying, before before the year hit? You know what I'm saying? We kept getting this eerie feeling, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was feeling it, and they kept saying, "Man, this feels like the calm before the storm. This feels like the calm before the storm." Remember what Trump said when he first came into office years ago, all right? And he was with the whole cabinet administration taking a photo, and he said it's like the calm before the storm. You know what I'm saying? And when the reporter asked him what do you mean, he said, "You'll see." You know what I'm saying? Hey man, these devils is about to come with it. These devils is about to come with it, man. You know what I'm saying? "And they shall not escape." Verse 4, "But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Ye are all the children of light, and the children of the day. We are slack it. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore let us sleep. Let us not sleep, Salakia. Let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober." All right? It's time to watch and be sober, man. You know what I'm saying? Be circumspect, because shit's about to get real out here, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting how he's bringing out this pharmaceutical deal, you know what I'm saying? Right when we're seeing all these ports, Salakia. Right when we're seeing all these ports being emptied, you know what I'm saying? And nothing is moving back and forth, and truck drivers are being laid off, you know what I'm saying, while they're en route to destinations. And you know, it's just an interesting time when when you're looking at these moves being made, right? So a lot of people are going to be caught in the snare, man. You know what I'm saying? This is Proverbs chapter 29, verse 6. "In the transgression of an evil man there is a snare, but the righteous doth sing and rejoice." You see what I'm saying? We're not, we're not going to be caught unawares, because we're constantly being on our watch, you know what I'm saying? Remaining circumspect. All right? Let me see. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to blow the trumpet, man, because something real sneaky is happening. All right, something real sneaky is happening with this executive order. You know what I'm saying? And this is being touted as one of the biggest executive orders in history. You know what I'm saying? When you think about the amount of money that one has to pay for some of these pharmaceutical drugs, all right, it's just astronomical, right? It's just astronomical. There was this one, I forget what that documentary was, but it was a documentary coming from this guy. It was that big dude years ago. Fuck, I can't remember what that was. Damn. Let me see. Let me look this up. Oh, I think his name was Michael Moore. Let me see, Michael Moore. Sicko. Yep, Sicko. I remember that. Sicko. So that was definitely an eye-opening an eye-opening documentary. You know what I'm saying? Because that was in 2007 that came out. So in 2007, and pharmaceuticals was so pricey back then. All right, and I think one part in the film there was a woman who was crying because she went to Mexico and she paid about maybe $3 for this prescription that she gets. You know what I'm saying? But in the States, it cost her about $95. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, these jokers is wicked, man. They wicked. All right? And this is not medical advice or anything like that, man. All right? It just is what it is. See what I'm saying? But yeah, man, whatever this executive order is that Trump is pushing, this ain't nothing good coming from this. Ain't nothing good gonna come from this, man. It's going, if anything, it'll be an initial. It'll be something initial. You know what I'm saying? That people are gonna be celebrating, but there's definitely something nefarious behind all this, man. Because you don't get nothing for free. Salaki. You don't get nothing for free. Not from Esau Edom. You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna cut that there, man. I pray this lesson was edifying to the elect. All right, of the nation of Israel. This has been your brothers call you Allah, branched down here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. In closing, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahabashi, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, of whom I've grown in this truth under. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom.